Welcome to Salem Witch Trials Daily. I'm Josh Hutchinson.
This is Sarah Jack. Today is Friday, April 8th, 1692. The specters seemed quiet today, but there were significant developments on the judicial side of things.
Back on Monday, April 4th, Jonathan Walcott and Nathaniel Ingersoll had filed a complaint against Sarah Cloyce and Elizabeth Proctor. They claimed the two women had afflicted John Indian, Abigail Williams, Mary Walcott, Ann Putnam Jr., and Mercy Lewis.
As of the morning of April 8th, no action had been taken on the complaint. On this occasion, the Salem magistrates chose to wait rather than to issue the warrant the same day they heard the complaint, as they had been doing.
And the reason for the delay was that the Governor's Council of Assistants, which acted as the highest court in Massachusetts during the colonial period, decided to investigate the matter in Salem for itself.
The council set April 11th as the date they would attend their first hearing, which prompted Salem magistrates and assistants John Hathorne and Jonathan Corwin to issue those warrants for Sarah Cloyce and Elizabeth Proctor on the 8th.
In the warrant, the judges ordered Essex County Marshal George Herrick to arrest the two women Monday morning and bring them to the meetinghouse in the town at about 11.
This represented a change in venue, as previous hearings had been conducted in Salem Village at the meetinghouse. Now, things moved to the larger meetinghouse in the town.
The older governor, Simon Bradstreet, decided not to travel, so the deputy governor, Thomas Danforth, you know that name from the Crucible, he went to Salem, where he would be accompanied at the hearing by assistants James Russell, Samuel Appleton, Isaac Addington, Samuel Sewell, and of course, John Hathorne and Jonathan Corwin from Salem.
This will be Thomas Danforth's only direct involvement in the witchcraft proceedings of 1692. Unlike how he is portrayed in the Crucible, he did not preside over the court of oyer intermiter, which was hearing the Salem witch trial cases.
The governor and the Council of Assistants usually heard the witchcraft cases in Massachusetts because witchcraft was a felony, so it went to the highest court in the land. It's punishable by death. The fact that this body that usually heard witchcraft trials was present for a preliminary hearing was very significant. This is the first action by the colonial government in Boston during the Salem witch hunt.
While local officials would continue to play the prominent roles in the crisis, the hunt would soon be led by men from the colonial government, making it really hard to say that the so-called Salem witch trials were only about Salem.
But where was the sense of urgency during this period? Where was the panic? We're told that the people of Massachusetts were hysterical, but their response was slow.
Sarah Cloyce was accused in March 24th testimony and was heavily suspected after she hastily left the meetinghouse during Sunday services on March 27th after Minister Samuel Parris had called her sister Rebecca Nurse a devil.
And Elizabeth Proctor, she was first accused in writing in the April 4th complaint against her. However, accusers would later testify that Elizabeth had come to them spectrally beginning in March. In particular, Ann Putnam Jr. claimed on April 11th that she began to be afflicted by Elizabeth all the way back on March 3rd.
Justice still worked quickly by modern standards, as Elizabeth Proctor would be tried and convicted on August 5th after the April arrest. However, her arrest wasn't particularly rushed.
Yeah, if Ann Putnam Jr. were really assaulted by Elizabeth Proctor on March 3rd, and Elizabeth was continuing to injure people, and the villagers had contracted mass hysteria, wouldn't they have taken some action against Elizabeth Proctor, the culprit, sooner than 5 weeks after the incident?
And let's remember that Betty Parris and Abigail Williams were supposedly sick for 6 weeks before witchcraft was suspected.
So why did the Massachusetts colonists and authorities wait before proceeding with these cases? Well, felony cases were taken extremely seriously because people's lives were on the line.
Everyone seems to have wanted to get everything in order for successful prosecution, rather than rush the job or hastily jump to conclusions about people. It's an aspect of the Salem witch trials that is not often emphasized.